I never imagined that a routine supply run to the outer colonies would lead me to the most dangerous and simultaneously transformative encounter of my life. My name is Kieran Voss, a mid-level engineer aboard the starship Aurora's Dawn. I'd spent most of my life in relative obscurity, keeping machinery humming and lights blinking, far from the tangled politics of interstellar civilizations. That is, until I landed on Zareth 7, the jewel of the Obsidian Quadrant, home to a civilization so advanced that even the galaxy's council whispered about them in reverent tones, the Thalrics. I had come to deliver maintenance equipment, nothing more, nothing less. Zareth 7's orbital station was humming with activity as usual, though its inhabitants were nothing like anything I had ever seen. Tall, live, bioluminescent figures glided through the corridors with the kind of grace that made humans look clumsy. Their eyes, pupilless and shimmering, seemed to read my every thought before I even thought it. And at the heart of their capital lay the palace of their ruler, the Alien Queen. I had heard stories, frightening and almost mythic stories, about the Alien Queen. She was rumored to be merciless, capable of punishing entire fleets for minor offenses. But I never thought I would meet her until I stumbled into her inner sanctum entirely by accident. I had been inspecting a malfunctioning energy conduit that I'd been sent to repair when I realized I had taken a wrong turn. The hallway I was in opened into a massive chamber, glowing with iridescent light that pulsed in tandem with the heartbeat of the palace. And there she was, the Alien Queen herself, taller than any Thalrics I'd seen, her crownless head adorned with natural crystalline growths that shimmered like molten silver. Her gaze locked onto me immediately. "Intruder," she intoned, her voice a low, resonant vibration that seemed to echo inside my skull. "Explain yourself." I froze. My training had taught me that diplomacy was key, but the words caught in my throat. I'm Kieran Voss, engineer from the Aurora's Dawn. I didn't mean. Her hand rose, a gesture that somehow felt both elegant and fatal. A pulse of energy radiated from her palm, sending me sprawling across the chamber floor. Pain unlike anything I'd experienced coursed through me, my body vibrating as if I were a tuning fork struck by cosmic force. My vision blurred. I had only seconds to wonder if this was the end when her voice struck me again. "Punishment is deserved. But I am not without curiosity." I barely had time to gasp before I felt my body lifted into the air by a force I could neither resist nor understand. I was carried to a pedestal in the center of the room, where I floated suspended above the crystalline floor. Around me, the chamber walls flickered, projecting visions of galaxies colliding, stars forming and dying, and civilizations rising and falling. The Queen's punishment, I realized, was not just physical. It was a psychic reckoning. She wanted me to witness the fragility of life across the cosmos. Hours, or perhaps days, passed in a blur of excruciating visions. I screamed, pleaded, begged for mercy, but she remained impassive, almost clinical in her judgment. Finally, I collapsed onto the pedestal, trembling, my mind a chaotic swirl of images and pain. "Enough," she said, and the vision ceased. The energy that had lifted me vanished, and I fell to the floor. I was weak, broken, and utterly terrified. "You have survived because I wished to observe something unusual." I looked at her, disbelief etched into every line of my face. "Survive? After that?" She inclined her head, eyes glittering with an emotion I could not identify. "Few humans endure even a fraction of the ordeal I imposed. Few remain coherent. You are different." I swallowed, my voice hoarse. "Different? How?" "You possess curiosity, audacity, and resilience. Traits rare among your kind. Traits I can exploit. Her voice lowered, and a strange warmth flickered through the chamber. I will offer you a choice. Return to your mundane life, broken by what you have seen, or accept my proposition. I hesitated. Accepting anything from the alien queen sounded like a death sentence in disguise. And yet, there was something in her gaze that hinted at opportunity. Something transformative. What kind of proposition? I asked cautiously. Her crystalline crown tilted, as though in amusement. I am seeking an emissary, one capable of traversing the human worlds and the obsidian quadrant. One capable of bridging two civilizations that would otherwise never communicate. You will serve as my envoy, my human connection. In return, I will grant you knowledge, power, and longevity beyond your species' natural limits. I staggered backward. You mean like immortality? She nodded. Not immortality in the literal sense, but a life extended and enhanced beyond your current limitations. You will endure, adapt, and evolve. And if you succeed in your duties, you will gain influence and insight the likes of which your people have never known. I blinked, trying to process the magnitude of her offer. To serve the alien queen was dangerous, perhaps fatal. But to refuse might also mean a slow, inevitable return to obscurity, or worse, death. What do I have to do? I whispered.
Learn, adapt, survive.
Communicate. Her voice was commanding, yet strangely patient. Your first task is simple. Return to your ship and report my observations. You will relay knowledge of my civilization without embellishment or deception. In time, greater tasks will follow. I nodded, a sense of awe washing over me despite the fear still clawing at my chest. And if I refuse? Her eyes narrowed. Refusal is ill-advised, but you are free to test the boundaries of your courage. I swallowed hard. Somehow, in that moment, I understood the paradoxical nature of the alien queen. She was merciless, and yet strangely generous. Punishing and offering. Terrifying and transformative. She was an entity beyond human morality, a being whose motives were inscrutable yet fascinating. I spent the next several weeks navigating my dual existence. By day, I maintained my role as an engineer, repairing engines and conduits, logging data for my superiors. By night, I communicated with the alien queen through encrypted neural links she had imposed, learning their culture, history, and technologies. Each conversation pushed the limits of my understanding, reshaping my mind and perspective. Over time, I began to notice subtle changes in myself. My reflexes sharpened, my senses heightened, and my mind processed information in ways I never thought possible. I could analyze complex systems with astonishing speed, anticipate outcomes before they occurred, and understand the nuances of interstellar diplomacy. The alien queen's offer was no illusion. She was transforming me into something more. Months later, I returned to the palace, not as a trembling, terrified human, but as a confident envoy prepared to negotiate and advise. The queen regarded me with an inscrutable expression, then inclined her head. You have adapted, she said simply. You are ready for the next stage. I smiled, understanding at last the true nature of her punishment and offer. She had broken me, yes, but only to rebuild me stronger, sharper, and more capable than I had ever been. In that moment, I realized something profound. Survival was not merely enduring pain, it was transforming it into power. And in that transformation, I had become something neither fully human nor fully Thalrix, but something far greater than either. As I left the chamber, I felt a strange mixture of fear, reverence, and exhilaration. I had been punished, and yet I had been given the opportunity of a lifetime. And in the galaxy's infinite expanse, I knew that this was only the beginning of a journey that would change the course of human history forever. The alien queen had punished me, but she had also made a surprising offer, a chance to become extraordinary. And I had accepted it. Ending summary. Kieran survives the alien queen's punishment and, through endurance and adaptation, is transformed into a hybrid of human intelligence and Thauric's capability. He becomes her envoy, bridging two civilizations and gaining unprecedented knowledge and abilities. The story closes on a note of empowerment, highlighting transformation through adversity and the opportunity hidden within fear.